Every day, Ukraine's skies are filled with swarms of Russian attack drones, and they're taking a deadly toll on soldiers and civilians alike. In the summer of 2025 alone, Russia sent over 10,000 Shahed-type drones into Ukrainian airspace. Yet amid this onslaught, an 18-year-old Ukrainian high school student, whom we'll call Yurii, turned his passion for gaming and engineering into a frontline defense. He developed a special ammunition that can transform ordinary rifles and shotguns into effective anti-drone tools. Why does this matter? Because in a war where tens of thousands of attack drones have been fired since early 2022, even small innovations can save lives and change tactics. In this report, we'll tell the full story of Yurii's anti-drone ammo, how he went from gamer to weapons designer, and place it in the broader context of Ukraine's tech-driven counter-drone efforts. We'll explain the key facts, summarize field testing and expert commentary, and ask, can one teenager's invention really make a difference on the battlefield? Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine has driven drone warfare to unprecedented levels. Russian forces rely heavily on cheap, expendable drones, both armed kamikaze types and fast FPV attack drones, to conduct surveillance and strikes. A common tactic mixes real warhead-carrying drones with unarmed decoys launched to exhaust defenses. That tactic makes defense extraordinarily difficult. In concentrated attacks, hundreds of drones and missiles have been launched over short periods, and some front sectors regularly see dozens or even hundreds of drones in the air on a daily basis. Drones have changed the battlefield. Modern combat zones are now swarming with different types of unmanned aerial vehicles, forcing soldiers to depend on last-line, close-range defenses. Small, fast kamikaze drones have stalled offensives and inflicted heavy damage on both personnel and equipment. Ukraine reports that more than 100 Russian drones fly over its skies on average each day since 2022. The scale of attacks has forced Ukraine to adapt quickly. Simple, inexpensive systems like acoustic sensor networks and linked guns can provide effective local defense. Likewise, troops using simple machine guns and small arms report high hit rates against some types of attack drones when the drones are within range. Even unmodified weapons can be surprisingly effective at close distance. In response to the threat, Ukraine's defense industry, including new startups and tech clusters, have been working at speed. Government-backed clusters and volunteer tech incubators have launched an array of counter-drone solutions, from specialized rifle bullets and shotgun rounds to handheld electronic jammers and net launchers. Some new anti-drone rifle rounds are designed to fragment mid-air, letting a soldier with a standard service rifle hit tiny FPV drones without changing the weapon. Authorities plan to make these rounds widely available to frontline infantrymen. Ukraine is also developing radar and acoustic early warning networks to detect drones cheaply and rapidly. Young engineers and volunteers are being drawn into the effort. Volunteer brigades and defense incubators actively recruit tech-savvy youth. Too young to enlist normally, some under 18 Ukrainians have found other ways to contribute. Yurii's path is a prime example. Frustrated by attacks in his neighborhood and too young to join the armed forces, he turned to a military tech incubator. He and others have pitched ideas ranging from quieter drone propellers to anti-drone munitions, and Ukraine's military has shown interest. Each of these steps reflects Ukraine's layered defense strategy against drones. On the battlefield, soldiers combined electronic warfare and jamming to blind drone controls with kinetic tools like net launchers, flat cannons, shotguns, and modified small arms. Shotguns and specialty rifle ammo have become, for many, a last line of defense. When a kamikaze drone is descending, a soldier might empty a shotgun or unleash an automatic burst at point-blank range. Amid these efforts, Yurii's work emerged as a novel addition: cheap, infantry-friendly anti-drone ammunition. But how exactly did a gamer teen create this? Yurii is an engineering student from Kyiv who began tinkering with military tech in his mid-teens. He originally studied drone propellers, but quickly realized the urgent need was for effective anti-drone tools. Motivated by the scale of drone-caused injuries and damage, he set out to design munitions that could protect soldiers and civilians. At age 16, he quietly founded a small startup to prototype anti-drone munitions. He spent his free time researching DIY engineering and 3D printing, determined to contribute despite being too young to enlist. He described his motivation simply: he wasn't afraid to die, but he wanted to be useful first. When he had a working prototype, he and two friends took it to frontline Ukrainian units for trials. Their first demonstration involved a grenade launcher version of a net round. The concept impressed soldiers, but the unit lacked formal testing procedures. Undeterred, Yurii approached other units, including an assault brigade known for their use of drones. The soldiers were surprised to learn the inventors were still high school students, but they conducted live testing. Crucially, the military later asked Yurii to adapt the design for shotguns, because shotguns are widespread in frontline units. Within days, Yurii retooled the concept and delivered 12-gauge shotgun samples. The shell contains a small pyrotechnic charge. When fired, the projectile bursts mid-flight into an array of high-velocity fragments or strips that can shred drone rotors or damage the hull. In initial tests, soldiers reported immediate success, and one unit ordered more rounds for real combat trials. During training and early trials, Yurii's ammo proved valuable. Frontline units reported shooting down civilian drones at tens of meters and successfully bringing down FPV attack drones. Soldiers described the rounds as effective in practice. A defense report later explained that similar new rounds could allow a standard rifle to act like a rapid-fire shotgun against small drones when the projectile fragments mid-flight. At the same time, Ukraine was repurposing existing assets to hunt drones. Commanders began adapting helicopters and other platforms into drone hunters, using sensors and heavy machine guns together to intercept incoming UAVs. These creative adaptations show how even existing equipment can be used inventively against the drone threat. Today, Yurii balances final school exams with his defense work. He awaits grant decisions to scale up production and must navigate bureaucratic hurdles, including approvals for explosive charges, a particularly tall order given his age. Nevertheless, he remains optimistic. He believes Ukraine must build cheap ammunition that can be mass-produced so every city and unit has protection. Advanced systems like Patriot missiles are effective, but scarce. Cheap, widely produced rounds could be made in large quantities for a fraction of the cost. For context, Ukrainian defense experts aim to produce large numbers of both drones and counter-drone rounds as part of their strategy. Yurii sums up his drive plainly: he wants to be useful. His story has been covered by multiple outlets and supported by footage, but it is still developing. While initial tests are promising, further field trials and scaling are needed before drawing final conclusions. Yurii's invention highlights several larger trends and raises important questions about the evolving drone war. First, it empowers infantry. Special ammo and net launchers put anti-drone firepower directly into the hands of individual soldiers. Equipping every infantryman with at least one magazine of anti-drone rounds provides immediate, last-resort protection during an air alert. That means frontline units don't always have to wait for missile interceptors or jamming vehicles. A rifleman can switch rounds and engage an incoming FPV drone at close range. Demonstrated successes suggest this approach can improve unit survivability, especially in trench and urban combat where small drones strike suddenly. Second, it's cost-effective. One reason Ukraine pursues such solutions is economics. Acoustic sensor networks and linked guns cost far less than high-end missile batteries. Likewise, anti-drone ammo and portable net launchers cost only thousands of dollars compared to millions for missile systems. This fits a broader asymmetric strategy. Use simple, mass-producible tools to counter an enemy that deploys greater numbers or higher-tech systems. Military analysts have praised this mindset and urged allies to develop cheaper, creative solutions to swarm threats. The battlefield impact could be meaningful. If widely deployed, these rounds would raise the cost for attackers. Cheap drones inflict damage on high-value targets, and cheap defenses can neutralize many of those drones. Ground units already report high hit rates against some attacking Shaheds with small arms.
Yuri's ammo is one piece in a larger ecosystem of stopgap measures. It may not stop every drone, but it can help sustain a high overall interception rate, freeing expensive interceptors for long-range threats. There are limits and likely countermeasures. Shotgun and rifle ammo only reach drones within roughly 30 to 50 meters, and only if soldiers see them coming. High-altitude drones and cruise missiles remain beyond such munitions. The adversary can also adapt, flying higher to evade small arms, using hardened links or different guidance methods, or designing drones to withstand fragmentation. Some experts caution that heavy reliance on ad hoc solutions could prompt countermeasures. In short, this kind of ammo adds a valuable layer of defense, but it cannot replace higher-tier air defenses where they are needed. Yuri's story also illustrates Ukraine's broader innovation ecosystem. Grassroots inventiveness is working alongside conventional arms. In addition to special ammo, Ukraine fields compact net launchers, personal EW devices that can jam drone signals at close range, acoustic sensor networks, and even AI-controlled turrets that autonomously engage missiles and drones. Thousands of handheld jammers and new vehicle-mounted cannon systems are in use, and existing platforms have been upgraded to hunt drones. The teen's ammo joins this patchwork arsenal of stopgap measures. Effectively, each side is caught in a techno-spiral. Russia can flood the air with drones, and Ukraine keeps chipping away with low-cost counter-tools. A NATO official summarized the dynamic. Defenders accept that the first drone may arrive, then rely on local measures like shotguns and rifles to neutralize the threat. Yuri's innovation simply makes those weapons more lethal. To recap, a Ukrainian teenager, living under constant drone attack, applied his gaming and DIY skills to help defend his country. In his mid-teens, he launched a startup and developed anti-drone ammunition, shotgun and rifle rounds, designed to fragment mid-air to bring down small UAVs. His prototypes were tested by frontline units, and initial results were promising. Soldiers reported shooting down enemy drones. This story is one example of Ukraine's broader anti-drone innovation boom. In recent months, Ukraine has fielded a wide array of countermeasures, from net launchers to acoustic sensors, as part of a multi-layered defense against an unrelenting aerial threat.
Of course, all details remain preliminary and developing. We should be cautious about calling any single solution a silver bullet. Analysts will watch to see whether these rounds enter mass production, how they perform in prolonged combat, and how adversaries adapt in response. For now, Yuri's story is a powerful symbol of resilience and ingenuity in wartime. What do you think? Can these new counter-drone weapons make a measurable difference on the battlefield? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and if you found this report useful, remember to subscribe for more breaking news and analysis. Stay tuned for our upcoming coverage on additional defense innovations and how allied technology is bolstering Ukraine's efforts.